All right, welcome back. This is the Malapert Smark podcast. Thank you for listening. We're finally back. We took a couple weeks off. We had a combination of technical difficulties for one show. Long story, but one of our mics wasn't on, so unfortunately we had one show that just didn't get on the air. It just disappeared out of existence. So if you Malapert Smark fans out there really want to listen to it, you're going to have to ask God at Judgment Day's doorstep, can I hear that one episode that got lost, that didn't get recorded? But that was a couple weeks ago. Last week, I guess I'll call it personal time. This podcasting is probably more stressful and work than I thought it would be going into it. And I think anyone who's tried it would probably agree that it is work in and of itself. But anyways, we have fun with it, so we want to keep going. So we got Full Gear tomorrow, all you wrestling fans out there. And we're going to go through Full Gear, the card, and make our predictions, preview it a little bit, talk about the angles, how they worked, if they worked at all, or if they didn't work leading up to this pay-per-view, if you're interested in it, if we're going to buy it. And for all that, I got with me Vlad, the wrestling expert. Thank you for coming on today and talk about wrestling. Yes,
I returned to my proper place. This is a second home. The Malapert Smark podcast.
Listen, Vlad, as much as I want to talk to you about your own personal shit, this card is really long. It's a lot of matches, so we got to get started. This is going to be a long segment.
Let's do it.
So, all right. Let's start with the MJF stuff, because that's the most important stuff. So, he's obviously in a feud with Jay White, and we're trying to figure out who the devil is. I have a clip from Dynamite I could play for you or show you as they started the show, and this past week on the 15th, and they reviewed the week before when the four masked assailants who worked for the man who stole MJF's mask, or woman, we'll discuss that in a bit, but that was last week. This week, Roderick Strong, I guess he's insisting that it's MJF. To him, it's MJF. But look, before we go into predictions about the match, the Jay White match and everything, I want to talk about this masked man, the devil that they call him, if you will. The new devil, because MJF is the devil. But this past couple weeks since we've been off the air, I've heard more rumors of more possible suspects. And I want to go through some of them and ask your opinion of each one by one, and see the validity of it. So one thing I've been starting to hear is the WWE releases, such as Dolph Ziggler. What do you think of that?
No.
Just
he's
no.
He's not the devil. I mean, he could be coming to AEW, but he won't. That would be a dumb role for him.
Could be one of the masked guys, I guess.
I guess that's possible. Maybe.
Okay, so the one we just mentioned was Roderick Strong, who keeps insisting it's MJF. And he could be right in the end. It could be MJF, and he could be right all along, or it could even be him, which would be kind of crazy, but he's kind of too dopey and silly to me to really seem like he would pull off something like this or be the mastermind behind it. What do you think of Roddy?
No, I don't think Roddy's the masked guy, but I think he's probably involved. I think my guesses are maybe even, I don't know if your guess is also been the same, but everybody's been kind of talking about Adam Cole being the masked guy for a while now. So we'll see. I mean, that's kind of where everybody's mind is at. But in that case, then Roddy and the Kingdom are probably other masked people, right? Not the devil himself, but the masked people.
Well, okay, but I do want to mention another rumor I heard was, speaking of Adam Cole, a rumor that I thought was kind of interesting was Britt Baker, because it just makes sense that she get involved in this, because she is married to him. So I could kind of see it happening, like she's just mad at the whole thing, that she lost Adam Cole to MJF. She never sees him anymore. He's always with MJF. Although she's denied this in a podcast, she was on a podcast where they asked her straight out, "Are you the devil?" And she said no, but doesn't mean she has to tell the truth just because she's asked it. But okay, what do you think about that? Any thoughts about that?
I don't know. I mean, I think if they ever announce that, like if they reveal that it's Adam Cole, for example, you would think, given that Britt's been off TV, she would be part of the group. I don't think she should be like the devil. Again, it just wouldn't make sense. I think it's not a sexist type of thing. It just makes more sense that this is, that she'd be involved somehow, but not as like the ringleader type of person. Not in this sense, So it still has to. It would make sense if it was Adam and only Adam, and she could be by his side. That would make sense.
It would be quite a way to make her. I kind of would. I would dig that, but I think that's kind of too radical of an idea. The other one getting bandied around about pretty hardcore is Jungle Boy Jack Perry, just because he's been out.
Oh my god!
So what do you say to that? No, yes, possibly. He has been involved with MJF. He's been in a feud with him. He's an important figure in AEW, like it or not. Toni Khan holds him in high regard. So,
well, at least someone does.
So you say no? You're just saying Adam Cole the whole time. You're gonna stick with that.
No. I'm saying it could be a couple of those people, but as far as Jungle Boy, I wouldn't particularly be on board with that either. I mean, if that's what they want to do with him, if that's what they want to do with this angle, okay. But I don't know how much I would care for that. For the people working with him, that's the other thing. Like, are they notable wrestlers, or do they just random people, security guard people?
I think it should be. It could be Jack Perry and the Young Bucks, because they're kind of the heels amongst certain circles of the wrestling community. The old school wrestling community. They're the ones who are the rebellious, kill the business type of guys. So I could see that happening. I don't know about the Young Bucks being involved. I would just throw that in myself. But the last one I've heard, the last rumor is a weird one, is Tony Khan himself. Like, if he were to finally get involved.
That would be a disastrous mistake.
Well, there's already been a lot of disastrous mistakes in AEW. What's one more? But okay. So there's our predictions, I guess, for the rumor mill for the devil.
I just think it makes sense for that to be Adam Cole, bottom line, because he already has the people with him, the people that he kind of hangs out with, and he's always in segments with.
It would be quite a swerve. Sense. It would be quite a blow to MJF storyline-wise that if he was the mastermind behind something so evil to pretend to be his friend. Sure. I could see it happening. I could see Tony Khan putting Adam Cole over like that, because it would certainly be putting him over as like a heel. It would be his moment in AEW.
But just real quick, who do you think? Is Adam Cole your pick too, or you have somebody else in mind?
Oh God, I don't want it to be Adam Cole. I want it to be MJF himself, and that's what Jay White keeps insisting when everyone asks him, "Why are you stealing the Triple B and all this?" And he's like, "Well, dude, I'm not buying this whole babyface thing with MJF." And he turned face a couple times and then turned heel back, and then tugged on people's heartstrings with his emotional sob story from when he was a kid, and then immediately turned back heel. And I'm hoping that this is just one of those times where it just went on a little longer, because he should be the main heel in the company, man. I mean, Christian's doing a good job, but Christian's like the mid-card heel. He's a TNT champion. Yeah. MJF should be the face. It's kind of a waste to use him as a baby face. I think they could... I don't know. I think they could get someone else to be the babyface. Adam Cole could be the babyface if they really need one. If they went into a rematch like that next year at All In, it would be MJF versus Adam Cole, but MJF is the heel. But that's what I would want to do. I don't know. I kind of have this feeling like they might be leaning towards Adam Cole, but I also have this feeling like it could be Jack Perry, so I have no fucking clue, really.
Gotcha. That's fair. That's fair.
But I don't think it'll get revealed tomorrow. Because we're recording this Friday night, if anyone's listening. This Saturday tomorrow is going to be Full Gear. So this is our little preview. If anybody sees this before Full Gear tonight or in the morning, that would be good. So I'll try to get this up. But yeah, so I don't think we're going to find out tomorrow. I mean, a lot of it has to do with Adam Cole's injury. People are saying that they just need to prolong this in a long fashion. But anyways, from there I'm going to move on to let's get some predictions for the MJF stuff. By the way, Rampage and Collision were tonight at the same arena at the Kia Forum here in LA, where we live.
Right.
I don't know if you caught any of it, but there was
not really.
No? Well, there was some MJF stuff with Adam Cole. Should we watch some of it just to?
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't.
Oh, so there's this interview. It's a sit-down interview with Jay White, with Renee Moxley Good, as Jim Cornette calls her. But MJF attacks him, like he blindsides him during this interview.
Does he get his belt back?
Well, he's gonna try. So it's gonna be a. Well, let's turn up the volume since you haven't seen this. Let's take a listen. So, he gets his hands on it like he has before. This is the last thing on Rampage, so this is like the go home. Literally right before the pay-per-view. This is the last segment. So... I like Jay White as a sniveling heel, man. I like him as a sniveling heel. Well, okay, so since I saw they're gonna cut back to what's happening back there. I think he bashed Juice Robinson with a TV, I guess.
The monitor, the television monitor. Flat screen TV. Oh, Juice is hurt.
Leaves Juice left.
Juice has got juice. Juice is. Oh, it is out of control, fans. We're going to try to.
So then it's going to leak into the arena, into the fans of Los Angeles. Not a very packed arena for this Collision Rampage taping. Maybe it'll be more packed tomorrow. We'll see. But he definitely has a chance to get the belt back, but there's just too many people. The Guns are going to come in. Juice is out. Juice is out cold.
Yeah.
So it's 3-on-1. And I'll just skip forward a little bit. They're gonna take it from him, but it's tough. He's gonna get like his ass kicked pretty good, but they have to work hard to get it off him, which is pretty good. I like this. This looks like it's a struggle, you know. It's good when it looks like realistic. This is pretty realistic. He's trying his damnedest to hold on to that fucking thing. There's 3 guys ganged up on him. So that's it. So that's how it ends. I think they're gonna bash him on the head with the. Oh no! I forgot what happened here. Here, watch this, Vlad.
No one is here to help you watching this after the year we had against each other. Oh no! Oh my God! It's Samoa Joe's music. It's a human tank coming in the ring.
Okay, so this is why I had to show you this clip, because we were gonna make predictions for the Guns versus MJF and Mystery Partner for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. So they had to figure that out right before the show today. Right? That's it right here. So I don't think he has a choice, right? Unless he wants to go in 2-on-1 against the Guns. That's probably too difficult, though. It's not the same as the Righteous. They botched the handshake here. It's supposed to be dramatic. Well, they're supposed to shake, but they're trying to do it all dramatic, but I think they're gonna miss.
They miss? How could you miss?
It was a shaky handshake. It was a little shaky. It wasn't that cool, but it was okay. Alright, so there's Rampage. So it's Samoa Joe against and MJF against the Guns for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles on the pre-show. I mean, that looks like a win for MJF and Samoa Joe. Come on, that's a stronger squad right there, right?
For sure, yeah. No doubt about it.
All right. So then what about the main event? We got Jay White and MJF.
MJF better retain. I don't know.
So he's going to get his belt back finally. Going to win clean and get his belt back. With help from Samoa Joe, maybe, who's there to watch his back.
Maybe. I don't know. Something will happen, but he's got to win.
Well, Wardlow's also in the picture. He said he's going to try to screw it up for MJF when he least expects it. So he could get in there and try to cost him.
Right, they throw so many people, so many different things at MJF in this whole debacle of an angle that he's got going, but he needs to retain over Jay White. I mean, I've not been a huge fan like you have been and Robert have been. You know, I kind of get tired of listening to the same stuff that he says over and over again. So he's a good wrestler. He's a good worker. He shouldn't be their world champion. So let's hope MJF retains is my hope.
All right. That's the MJF stuff. We got to go through the rest of the card, though. Okay, so
let's do it.
Let's talk about some of these other matches. I'll go through them. On the pre-show, there's going to be Eddie Kingston against Jay Lethal. I don't think you care at all, right? I mean, we're kind of fans of those two guys, like as wrestlers, but for the Ring of Honor title and how this feud has been built up and that hardcore match that Jeff Jarrett had with Kingston, and so, okay.
No, honestly, I could care less about this.
We marked that under, we don't care, unfortunately. Okay, so then we got Buddy Matthews versus Claudio Castagnoli, also on the pre-show. Also a random match. I don't care.
Nobody cares.
They are two buff guys, though. Extremely buff, well-built guys.
Yes.
If it were a real match, that would be interesting to see. We got Shida, the champion, against Timeless Toni Storm, who has become an actress, a 50s actress or something like that. Or 30s actress. Correct. Is it 30s? Silent film actress.
Silent films is 20s and 30s, right? So she's a 20s and 30s movie star.
And every time she comes on the screen, somehow it all becomes black and white magically. So,
because she's timeless.
Okay, well, what do you sense is going to happen here? You sense a title change here, or is this just another vehicle for her to lose and go more crazier?
I honestly don't know, bro. I mean, I think she should win. She's obviously a more interesting character and better than Shida. I would definitely have her as a champion. But then again, maybe you're right. Maybe they just want her to stay crazy and just kind of lose big matches and just continuously just go crazier and crazier and crazier until the next thing you know, she's going to be in a loony bin or something. So I don't know which way they're going. They could go either way, but with me booking it, I definitely want her as the champion over any of these other women. And that's it. That's all I got on that.
I'm going to pick Shida, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I could go either way, but I guess I'll pick Shida. I feel like Tony Khan wants her to have a long storied history of title reigns. So
great.
But I'm not sure. But we'll see. But I want to talk about other things. that one's that's kind of a feud I've glossed over because it hasn't been that great. But the Christian Cage stuff obviously has been hot. Wikipedia lists his stable as the Patriarchy. I've never heard that. Have you heard that on the show? Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne, the Patriarchy.
That's the first time I've heard anybody call them that. Okay,
so they're facing off with Darby, Allin, and Sting, who they've been feuding with, and Edge finally joined that team after apprehension. He didn't want to face his old friend Christian. He wanted to somehow stay friends with him and be there for him in the end. But Christian was just too mean to him and told him a lot of bad things, threatened to break his neck and his back and everything and make him cripple and take over his family with his wife and everything. So eventually Edge just had to. Yes. Yeah. He's been saying the most dastardly heel things you could say and possibly think of. So finally Edge joined Sting and Darby's like, all right, fine, we have to. And he did spear Christian once, I think. A couple weeks ago, right? On Dynamite 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So What are you expecting from this one? Is this just going to be like a vehicle to lead into an Edge Christian match, or is this really going to be Sting's last match the way Christian says it's going to be? Are they going to retire him?
No, but obviously not. No, I think the faces are probably going to win, and it'll probably be okay. You know, as far as 6-man goes, Darby's going to do some crazy stuff. Nick Wayne's going to take some crazy bumps. And, but I think the faces will win.
Yeah, I kind of see that happening too. And then I guess Christian could get his heat back somewhere down the line, do something dastardly, and lead to another match where they have to. But that's a good showcase match for the fans in LA over there. So the next one we have to talk about, I guess, a little bit is just Orange Cassidy and Moxley, just because it's on the card. This was a feud. The storyline got flubbed, or whatever they were planning kind of got messed up because Moxley had to drop the title when he was concussed, and I think they didn't really want it to happen like this. They probably wanted Cassidy to win the title back from Moxley here, but instead he's going in as the champion. I'm hearing rumors of a heel turn because he has to win, and he just can't probably beat him fair and square. So
from Orange Cassidy, a heel turn from Orange Cassidy.
That's what I'm hearing. So if he's gonna win, how else is he gonna win? He just can't. There's no way. He's gonna get the fuck beat out of him like last time at the last pay-per-view. What was it called? It was 2 pay-per-views ago. I don't think it was Wrestle Dream. It was All Out, I think. All 8. The one after. All In.
The one after Wembley. The one after Wembley. Right. That's correct. You are correct. You are correct, sir.
So, okay, if there's an Orange Cassidy heel turn, I guess that would be interesting. Otherwise, it won't be interesting. So, I mean, I guess I could see Orange Cassidy just winning fair and square, too, and Moxley just putting him over, which would be quite a moment in the annals of wrestling.
Quite a moment.
But I guess we'll see. You have a prediction, or if you want to move on, I'll just move on.
Yeah, prediction is... what was Mr. T's line in Rocky 3 when they asked him about a prediction? He said pain, right?
Pain for Orange Cassidy again. I guess he could just lose again, just get destroyed.
No, I was actually thinking pain for us for having to watch it, but
yes, this is true. Well, yeah. It's gonna be a long card, so.
Yeah. I don't really care. So I mean, we could move on. I don't care who wins as far as that goes.
All right, yeah, that's a hard one to pick, but we'll see. Adam Page and Swerve Strickland are having a rematch of their horrible blood feud that's happening. And last time we talked about how that scene where Strickland and Nana broke into Page's house was unrealistic because there's no police charges. But they did address that this past week on Dynamite when Adam Page said something to the effect of, we could forego the charges and I'll just take care of you in the ring. You're gonna regret stepping into my house and all that. So he's just gonna handle this the old-fashioned way without the police involvement. So I like how they wrapped that up finally and neatly. It was a little confusing at the time, but now we know why there was no police report. Yes. Anyways, okay. So I know you're not a fan of this feud either. So
No, not really, not particularly.
And by the way, this is a Texas death match. Forgot to mention.
Well, I mean, usually have these type of things in Los Angeles, the Texas death matches. That's where they're known for it to happen. But anyways, Los Angeles, Texas death match, they go hand in hand. Yeah, didn't you know that?
God! Anyways, I think Page is gonna win.
I think so. I think he will. They got to put the guy over after he put Swerve over the last time and kind of been really not shown in a good light for the most part in this feud. Kind of looked like an idiot for the most part. I guess the only thing I remember from the Dynamite is the one thing I told you about, which was Paige and Nana's back and forth about how after the show Nana buys weed from a high school guy, but Paige is going to take his weed and steal it. And Nana's like, "You're already taking my weed." I thought that was pretty hilarious. Okay, that made me laugh out, like literally laugh out loud, because that was actually funny. Nana's reaction is Nana's face. Well, first when he was denying it, he was like, "That's not true. That's not true." And then Page was like, "I'm gonna take your weed." He's like, "You ain't taking my weed." Okay, that was funny. Okay, I'll give them that. But outside of that, this has been like not interesting to me at all. I know some people like Swerve. I know other people like Page, and I know Page likes to Page has moments where he can be okay. Swerve is okay at times, but like he just goes overboard. Like it's too stupid with the stuff that he does. Like this is the second time that he's like you said, went into somebody's house and either messed them up or whatever the hell.
It's an interesting feud. It was an interesting feud to me. It wasn't perfect. It didn't come off perfectly well, but at least they try to create something creative. They try to put these guys over in a way, so at least they're trying.
Sort of. I guess sort of.
I listen to Dutch Mantell's podcast too nowadays since I run out of Cornette a lot, but I'm starting to be more in the boat of Dutch than Cornette because I think Cornette is just so negative no matter what, and Dutch at least points out some of the positives.
But what did Dutch say?
Well, Dutch said at least now there are some angles. Like people complain there's no stories, but the mask thing, the masked man thing, the guy in the devil's mask, that's a story. We're waiting to see what happens. Every week it's kind of the tensions building up. But the problem is yes, okay, it is an angle, but it's such bad television to get to to watch this angle. It's an angle that they're continuous angle. I agree. I'm not going to disagree with that because obviously that's what they're going with. But it's so bad. It's not interesting. You try to have some interest in it. I think the clip you just showed me on whatever that was, Rampage, actually looked decent from what I saw. That could be an interesting element of the show. But it's so far and few moments like that it's maybe, I understand.
Maybe he's right.
But I think
maybe
Cornette,
he's right with the feuds, but yeah.
Cornette has made a gimmick out of criticizing AEW to the point where I think even when anything is...
Well, it's bad, bro. I mean, it's bad. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think when it's bad, and right now it's at its worst. So I don't know if it's a gimmick or not. It's just really bad wrestling right now. So, I mean, hasn't he also given praise when everybody thought that it was good? So I don't know. I disagree with that element. He just thinks it's really shit, and I kind of agree. I think there's very little right now to be happy about if you're an AEW fan. They're kind of in a bad way. I mean, sure, there's angles, but none of them are interesting. None of them are good. Nobody you really care about, right? So maybe Dutch is right that there's more of something here, but God, is any of it any good at all? Can we say that? Can we say that any of it is interesting in the slightest?
I think some things are an improvement over the past when it was just random ass matches and that's it. But I think there has been some things like for example, the next feud I'm gonna talk about, Kris Statlander, Julia Hart, and Skye Blue. Yeah. This has been something that has been building up. Not in a great way. It's not legendary or anything, but at least they're giving them something to just that.
Well, I like all three women. I like all three of them. I think they're all three attractive women. But not just they're attractive. They have some capabilities. Julia Hart has a great look. Statlander has a pretty good look and is obviously a big, looks like she could be a really kind of maybe worked right. She could be a really good wrestler. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, I got a distracted call. So let me just.
Vlad's a popular guy over here. It's all right, Vlad. We will wait forever for you. Don't worry, we need you. We need your expertise. You don't have to ask us to wait. Tell us to wait. All right, you people out there, wait. I'm doing something. I'm busy. All right, we're waiting.
Okay,
we're waiting.
Sorry about that. My apologies.
Yes, we got Vlad back. All right. So you got a prediction for Statlander is probably going to retain. She's the one who beat Jade Cargill. She's not going to lose to any of these two, I think.
Yeah. Statlander is going to win. But I wouldn't mind if they somehow worked in a situation where, even though it seems like what's her name? Sky Blue looks like she's gonna stay with like Willow and whatever. I was hoping that would be like a swerve, and maybe she's still gonna join the House of Black with Julia Hart. Yeah, so,
I'm with you there.
She seems to fit better with that. She's going with that look, right? She's kind of, well, sort of. I mean, she's got like.
Well, yeah, she's going dark and she's turning heel, but she's not joining the heels, so it doesn't. I don't really. But I guess she could just.
So you would think that you maybe it could still be a swerve and she could still join them. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Or she could just be turning heels separately. I guess so. But
yeah, but maybe she doesn't want to. Yeah, maybe she doesn't want to join that group. I guess it's also not. But anyways, yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, you would think Statlander would win unless there's like a swerve and those two start working together.
All right, so here's a topic that we've really not discussed much in our shows because we just kind of left them off because I guess we haven't found them interesting. But that would be the Young Bucks. Yeah. They're facing.
Who are they fighting?
The Golden Jets, they're called. It's the team of Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. They're called the Golden Jets. That's what they've called themselves. Oh. I don't know why. Oh. Well, Kenny Omega and Ibushi were the Golden Lovers, right? So him and Jericho are the Golden Jets. So I've really been not really interested in this angle. The storyline here is that the Young Bucks are jealous that Omega is with Jericho, and they want him to disband that team. So if they win, that team will be disbanded, and if Omega and Jericho win, then they'll get the Young Bucks tag team title shot that they have earned from All Out. So that's a match that I really don't care what happens. I kind of want want the Elite to break up because I think this is another thing that Dutch is kind of favorable to Kenny Omega more than Cornette, and Cornette is just. He has that vendetta against him for wrestling against a blow-up doll, and he'll just never really take him seriously at all, ever, no matter what. But I'm a fan of how Omega sells in his matches, and I think he actually shows like he's hurt, unlike the Young Bucks who just pop up and continue on like nothing happened. He actually acts. Well, he's not really acting. He's all fucked up, like his back's in pain and everything. So. But I like how his matches look. Like, I've never really had a problem with him in particular. I have a problem with the Young Bucks. I don't really like their style. So I think if they break up here and Jericho and Omega win, and that'll be the end. Because they've been fighting, right? Omega and the Bucks have been squabbling on the show, on Dynamite. So
yeah, but it's just dumb stuff because it's like they're fighting, but like it's the same stuff they're always fighting about. Like, oh, you're not my friend. It's the same crap that they're always doing. So it's hard to really even take it seriously at this point. They do this every single time when they don't have any idea what to do. Like, oh, you're not my friend. You're more friends with him. Are you kidding me, bro? Like, you've done this a million times already. How many times can you go to the same well before it runs dry? And I think it's already run dry. I think there is something to say about how, I don't want to talk about other podcasts so much, but how Brian Last and Cornette say how basically the Young Bucks mean less now than they've ever done. Nobody cares about them. Like
this is true.
They have. I mean, they really do have not some. They have go-away heat with everybody. I think they have go-away heat with some people, but even the biggest diehards of AEW, I don't even hear that really like loud pops for them anymore. Like people really interested in what they've got going on. Like they're really. Just really the worst that they've ever been, I think.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I usually skip over their storylines, but we're going over this card, and they just happen to show up on this list, so we just have to mention it. But yeah, overall, I think.
So I don't care who wins that match either.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on then, because we got more to talk about. Another match. I don't know if you care about. What do you think of this? Ricky Starks and Big Bill are the tag team champions, and it's a 4-way. Tag team match, but it's also a ladder match. And the other 3 teams are FTR, Malakai Black and Brodie King, and Roosh and Dralistico.
Well, this is going to be a spot fest match, it looks like. It's going to be a lot of spots. I mean, I like some of those teams individually and like certain aspects of a lot of those guys. Obviously, Ricky Starks, I like. Big Bill's growing on me since he joined with FTR, of course, great tag team, but they're not really known for their ladder matches. But, okay. I mean, obviously they really gimmicked this whole thing. They put a hat on a hat type of situation. It's already a 4-way. Now they put a 4-way ladder match. Yikes. Well, I mean, like I said, it's going to be interesting. I like a lot of the things involved. And I guess I would want Ricky Starks and Big Bill to retain. I think they should still have a further reign as champions. They should kind of try to build them up some more. And I hope they do that. I hope they go about doing that.
Well, I want Roosh and Dralistico to win because those are my guys. But I think Ricky Starks and Big Bill are going to retain. But, all right. And then, I think that's it. Okay, so we went through the whole card. All right, so that's it.
Oh, thank God. We did it. Yes.
All right.
Hey, how many matches is that? Is it like 12 matches?
That's 11 matches total.
11 matches. So
11,
we're looking for at least, probably a 4-hour, maybe more, 4.5-hour show.
Well, that's how it always is for AEW, They want to give you your money's worth. You're paying all that money. It's very expensive, these tickets, as we saw. I thought it wasn't really worth it to go because I'm just not super stoked about how it's been going. They don't really have me really hot.
If we could have found some really fairly cheap tickets, maybe.
I guess so. But also, if the angles were really freaking hot, of
course.
If this was like Stone Cold coming to town and everything, like back in the day, we would have paid whatever they asked. But I don't know. Hasn't been really. But it could be the day they reveal the devil. It's not really certain. I don't think so. So we could miss something like that. Yeah. Some people are saying there's going to be a mystery signing, but sometimes their surprises are not as hot as they claim they're going to be. So.
I mean, maybe somebody. We'll see.
All right, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Thank you guys for listening to our preview and predictions for Full Gear 2023. Have fun watching it tomorrow. We're the Malapert Smark podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube, and we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts also. If you want to. We're
listen. Everywhere, guys. We're taking over. We're taking
audio
over
only. Slowly. If you need to save on data, if you only have a few gigabytes, you can listen to the audio only on Apple Podcasts. Listen at work. Put in an earbud, so your manager won't know you're listening. And subscribe, everybody. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for more clips on our YouTube channel. We'll be coming up with more wrestling topics and all of your modern and classic wrestling talk here on the Quantum Flux Podcast Network. We'll see you guys soon.